Hello! Today we're going to be talking about meal prepping. So the very first thing that I want to show you guys are what I consider the best thing since sliced bread for meal prepping, and that is these containers. They're made by Ziploc. You can get them at Target, the grocery store. They even sell them on Amazon. They are amazing. I don't use this small one all that much, but I use all the other ones a ton. And so the best thing is that they come in different sizes. I'm gonna have to hold the video, this is gonna be tough. But they come in different sizes. This is a half a cup if it's filled halfway. But if I fill that like up, that's like a purple. And so if I know I'm running out somewhere, I will fill one of these up with like grapes or cut up strawberries or something like that. These ones are a little bit bigger. I use them to prep my egg scrambles that I do. Again, ready to go. Anything that you're gonna stack in the refrigerator that you're gonna pre-make, look at how awesome they stack. And I don't know about you guys, but we're in a temporary situation here and we have like the world's tiniest refrigerator. So we need to use these containers and I love them. So if you've got Tupperware at home, whatever you've got, just get them out. And be ready for prepping them because they are awesome whether they stack or not, or you've got something at home. These are definitely a good investment if you're going to be doing meal prepping, if you don't have something already at home. So that's the first step. The next step is certainly your plan, which we talked about, and creating it. I have my Fix8 cookbook here, which you guys, I love this thing. I can't even tell you, like, look, I mean, I'm still learning to cook, but I've made this recipe a ton. There's meatball. I mean, there's so many yummy things in here. This one's also another one of my favorites. See, like, it has stuff all over it because I use it all the time. I'm a really big fan of this cookbook, so if you don't have it, it's a great place to start because one of the things that we're seeing a lot of questions on, for example, my toddler also got a hold of it, sorry, is like this example. It tells you, let me zoom in, how many container equivalents this is. So that's awesome when you're making a recipe. So I love that. So that's a good thing. So one of the next things that I do when I'm starting to meal prep is I usually meal prep either when my groceries get here. I use grocery delivery this year, but I won't be in the future. But once you go grocery shopping, so I just put out some items of some things that I use when I'm meal prepping, things that I can make ahead of time. So I make my egg scrambles. I use 2 eggs because 2 eggs is 1 red, and then I usually do 4 days at a time. So I would use 8 eggs. So that's a lot of eggs. I usually get these larger ones. And I use these containers, and I actually scramble them with, if I'm making 4 days worth, I use 4 vegetables, and I usually, here are my containers over here. So I would probably do usually like 1 of cut cherry tomatoes and 1 of spinach. So spinach already comes ready to go, just needs to be rinsed off. Here are my cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes or whatever these, what are they called? Sugar plum tomatoes. I slice them in half and stick them in my container. And so those are ready to go. So when my stuff comes, I sort of prepare it and get it ready. So I've got my carrots back here. I've got tomatoes here. What I will do is I will rinse them off, and carrots do really well if you stick them in cold water. You do have to keep the water fresh. So every other day I refresh it, but I use one of these containers. So I will dump those carrots in here with cold water, stick them in the refrigerator, and refresh the water. Then they are absolutely ready to go. So if I'm gonna have carrots and hummus in the afternoon, I can grab my container, oops, I'm dropping stuff. Grab my green container, get my carrots out of here, maybe stick some hummus, which is a blue container, but if I'm on the go, I can prep and put blue containers worth in here. So that's would be good for that. And they're ready to go. When you prep your vegetables, you're ready to go. So these are easy vegetables. You don't have to do a lot of prepping. Another thing, 2 things that I basically make every week. One is like a homemade salsa, and the other one is cucumber and tomato salad. So these are the ingredients that are basically here, and I have a couple things on the side. So I always get tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, a lemon. I squeeze a lemon in them. We'll post our recipes, but the idea is that I put everything out on the counter, and I literally spend a couple hours, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours on like a weekend, and go through and slice and dice. I'm very excited because I have over here, I just got this thing called a mandolin, and I'm going to be doing more slicing and dicing that way, which I'm really excited to try. But I also have some sweet potatoes back here, and they're enormous. But I also will boil some sweet potatoes for the week because they're really great. I've been throwing them in my egg scramble. So I just like peel them, boil them, dice them, and stick them in one of these containers so they're sitting in my refrigerator. And then when I need a yellow, it's a really healthy yellow to have, I'll mix it in with something. I've tossed it on salads. Like I said, I put it in my egg casserole, and I've also just eaten it on the side of something. So those are super great. You can also make sweet potato chips, which I did last week. That's why I'm excited to have the mandolin, because I can really slice them very thinly. And I took like 45 minutes, it felt like, slicing them last week. So that's another really great thing to have, and buy them every week, and you will use them. Another thing that I do is I make my own marinades. So my chicken comes, I take 2 of the 4 breasts that come in the package, and I make a marinade. And again, I'll post the recipe, but I use apple cider vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, some honey, and Mrs. Dash, which is awesome because this has no added salt, so it's all just seasoning. I have lots of flavors. This is the one I like the most. And I will just kind of, I cut my chicken breasts in half, I pound them, and then I make the marinade, stick them in a Ziploc bag for, either the day or even 24 hours overnight. And then the next day I cook them. Once I cook them, I literally either dice them and stick them in one of these, or even chop them up so that they're ready to go in the creamy chicken salad or the quinoa black bean salad that I was pointing out in the Fixate cookbook. I use this chicken marinade in that, and to cook the chicken, and I toss the chicken in, and I absolutely love it. It's really good, and my boys even like it, which is even more cool. So I usually get my marinades out so that I'm ready to go. Something new that I'm doing is cooking chicken. This is Greco. I'm cooking chicken, and today I had, what I do is I just cook the chicken, and you can tell that it's like completely falling apart, ready to go to be shredded. Cook the chicken and shred it. I will stick it in one of my containers so that it's ready to go. Today I cut up some romaine lettuce, threw on a red container's worth of chicken, and then I used one of those new Bolthouse, well, they're new to me, Bolthouse dressings, which is the yogurt dressing, which is an orange container. I mixed it up, and it was absolutely delicious. So having shredded chicken ready to go that you can throw in things is another great resource. This was literally onion powder, garlic powder, chicken, and chicken broth, and cook for 4 hours, and it's ready to go. It's going to be sitting in my refrigerator for anything that I want to make it with. So really what's key when you're ready to prep is that when you get your groceries, you take care of them quickly. Like I said, get them here and empty them out and stack them and put them in these things. Cook your eggs. If you want to do, a lot of people might make boil a bunch of eggs. If you like hard-boiled eggs, go ahead and boil them. If you have, sorry, you're gonna have to walk with me for a second. If you have a fruit bowl or something, stick your fruit in a fruit bowl. I've got some avocados. I have some apples. My bananas are coming tomorrow morning. And I always leave those out so they're easy to grab. I think one of the keys to making this program work for you is to, one, pick foods that you like, as I mentioned in the meal prepping video, but you also really want to consider having things that are easy. All of the things that I have are easy, like the tomato and cucumber salad. You can add that to anything, and 1 cup of it is, there's your 1 green for the day. It can be a great snack, it can be a great addition. So having things prepped and ready, these are things that I've gotten used to doing and that I really like to do, and they taste yummy to me. So they don't taste like, oh, I'm depriving myself of anything. I mean, right here I have yummy salads, I have eggs, I have sweet potatoes, I can make sweet potato chips. I've got chicken, so I can make yummy salads, I can marinate the chicken. So there's lots of options that you can do with prepping. The important part is when it comes and arrives, start planning and getting it prepped so that when you're ready to put something together, it does not take long. And one other thing that even Autumn Calabrese suggests is, I'm just grabbing it out of my pantry, is quinoa. If you like quinoa, it's also another really healthy yellow. And it's easy to throw into something, especially if you're making a salad. You could totally throw it in a salad. So if you make a cup of this, which grows to more than a cup, but they have the ingredient stuff on the back. But if you make one of these and you have it sitting in your refrigerator, you can toss it on something. If you're like, oh, I need a yellow. That's a great yellow to toss into something, as opposed to having, you know, the crackers or something. So that's just a suggestion of something to have. I like to have things ready and available in my refrigerator so that I can go to them, because, you know, we all are going to make our menus and we're all going to plan, but you know, some days we're just like, I don't really feel like eating that. So for those days that you don't feel like eating that, it's always good to have a variety of options so that you can, like, oh, you know what, I'm going to throw a few things together, change it up a little bit this time, so you have something else. So that is probably too long of a meal prep video, but I just wanted to show you the things that I do. When my stuff comes, I set it all out in the container, I get my cutting board, and now I'm going to use my mandolin, and I just start prepping away. And it really doesn't take that long, and I don't think it's too much of a hassle to get started in doing, because we're all busy, especially those that work outside of the home. You need to be able to take your food and make it portable, and we're busy and we don't want to get everything last minute, so then we run out of the house and then we have to hit the drive-thru. Is it going to happen? Sure, but we don't need to do that if we work hard to try to remember to meal prep. So going into this weekend, you guys are going to be hitting the grocery stores. First, you're going to be writing your meal plans. Then you're going to be hitting the grocery store, and then your groceries are going to arrive. So when they arrive, put them out on the counter and just carve out some time this weekend so that you know you can spend up to an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours meal prepping. But you will be so thankful that you spent that time prepping so that you have that food ready for you for the remainder of the week. So you guys have any questions, post them below. I'm sorry I'm not even in this video, but once I do the video, I can't turn it around. So you guys have a great day, and let us know if you have any questions. See ya.